Welcome to Circuit Conversations and our new series called Short Chats. The series puts the focus on the people in our team to hear directly about their experiences and the projects they're working on with the communities affected by the conflicts and crisis in Myanmar. Today in this short chat, Circuit's co-founder Stu looks back at 20 years of humanitarianism and community development with our guest Rob Kilpatrick. How did they start and has the work been helpful? Rob is the chairman of the board for Circuit International and has worked in some incredible development positions worldwide and holds a PhD. So welcome to Dr. Rob.
Stu, there's a song that I remember as a kid about an ant and a rubber tree plant. And everybody knows that an ant can't move a rubber tree plant. And oops, there goes another rubber tree plant. Ants make a difference by just their huge numbers and by persisting. Where's the future for you in terms of, we're seeing some transformation here and there and, small stuff. What's the dream? Tell me the impossible dream, to dream the impossible dream. Tell me what it is.
Well, it all depends on the ants working together, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yep, this ant has to communicate with this ant and this ant and this ant. And got a bazillion ants, and then they take down the rubber tree.
Yep.
And the dream of the future is all the ants coming together.
Really cool. So, how are we going to make that happen? How could we make a place like Myanmar the future of community development and love and friendship and all of the things that you and I dream about and talk about in terms of we've got this little project here, how's that going to make a difference?
The communities have all the resources they need to do everything that they need to do. Have you been to a tea shop in Myanmar before?
Yep.
What was your experience of drinking tea in a tea shop?
It's a real buzz of a place to be. People sitting around yakking and drinking tea, and it's a marvelous atmosphere to be in, even when you don't understand a single word, because you can tell that there's communication going on here. There's stories being told. There's ideas being shared. Yeah, it's a great place to be, actually, a tea shop.
And hot sweet tea in a steel cup.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Don't burn your lips.
No, don't burn your lips. And remember that sometimes it may not be as safe as it looks. I remember one place I was in Bangladesh, and I said to the guys that I was with, I said, they said, I wouldn't drink that. And I said, it hasn't killed anybody yet. And they said, well, actually, yes, it has. and it is one of the hazards, of course, about travelling in some of these more remote areas. I sometimes, I was thinking not so long ago about being in the back blocks of Afghanistan there a few years ago, and thinking, nobody knows I'm here. I could just disappear, but it felt perfectly safe to me. So here I am in a tea shop, in a village, and enjoying listening and watching the conversation. So
I like to imagine that the future of Myanmar is based around a community like that. A tea shop, the buzz of the community, and dropping maybe some yeast, a bit like growing a loaf of bread, where the goodness from whatever's happening in the projects that we are a part of also begin to affect the tea shop. And from the tea shop, they begin to affect another shop down the road, and then maybe into a government department. And maybe slowly the relationships will be strong enough to reach right up to the top. But, we have some big opposition. The love of money is a big thing, bro. Yes,
greed is often a limiting factor, isn't it? And yet when you see what can happen when the ants work together, it should be an encouragement that brings us into this stuff with a real sense of, we can make a difference. There's enough of us here who think like this to make a difference. And if I'm prepared to accept that enough is enough, then there's enough actually on this planet for everybody. But the problem is that I've got to accept that enough is enough. And I think in New Zealand, this is one of the things that we've got. We have got such an incredible resource here. We've got a small number of people in a large chunk of land and a whole lot of natural resources. And we're lucky. We've, other than the Pākehā invasion of Aotearoa, there's not been an invasion in this country. And so we've been somewhat removed from war and conflict. How do we preserve that, and how do we take that out to a bigger audience? That's the question.
I think one of the important things to think about with regards to the ants is they don't have any rules. They all just know that we're in it together. And if we all want to win, we all have to work. If we want to take down this rubber tree, we've all got to do our bit. And it's just getting enough of these ants on side to begin to take down a few trees at a time.
Yeah.
And I might be idealistic, but I do think it's possible.
Yeah, and I think we aid that ability for ants to come together by ensuring that people have a sense of security and enough. That they're not scrambling for food, that they're not scrambling for shelter, that when those things are taken care of and we've helped the community achieve that, then the coming together gets that much easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just taking enough pressure off a community so that they can find the resources that they need to progress on. Yeah,
and when you see it happen and you see them start to share that with another community, wow, that's a buzz moment. And you and I are both lucky enough to have seen 2 or 3 of those moments happen, and all we want to see is a whole lot more.
Rob, what would be the highlight of your time that you've been working in Myanmar over the years?
I think the highlight is when they come back and say, we've helped this village next door, or hey, we are going to establish a medical clinic in this area and we're going to fund it. It's like, wow, and I've seen that happen in Myanmar. I've seen it happen in other places around. I remember going to a place where an aid organisation had poured in lots of money, and I went and so I sat down the first night with the guys. What has this aid organisation done for you? And I was horrified. They've done nothing for us. Absolutely nothing. They're just hopeless. And I'm thinking, oh no, I've stumbled into a complete morass of, somebody's flogged something or ripped something off here. But then I looked around and I saw, wait a minute, there's sewage drains and stuff here. There's water tanks. Wait a minute, there's a preschool centre in this village? And so the next day I sat down with the woman and I said, hey, what have these guys done for you? Oh, they've helped us establish this child centre. They've helped us build smokeless stoves. They've helped us with this. But actually what had happened is the women and the men of the village had done the work themselves. So the guys were thinking in terms of what has been handed out to me. The women were thinking as, where have I received help and assistance and encouragement? And I think that kind of thing, seeing that happen in poor areas in Myanmar, and seeing men, women and children committed to actually helping themselves and others has just been so exciting for me. Because in the middle of 60 years of conflict, how on earth do you preserve a dream like that? That's really hard to see, and yet they're amazingly resilient. And so to be a part of a community that's doing that, that's where I get my buzz. And I'm sure that's done a few things for you as well.
It does. It makes your blood run strong. Yeah,
it does. It does. And you think, we've done it here, we can help do it again there, and we can do it again there. And, success breeds success. And so let's keep on pushing and let's see what we can get done. And if you want to help, then, find out about Circuit and join the club and get the buzz of seeing something really exciting happen in the world.
Rob, as usual, it's been amazing catching up with you, and thanks for your time. I'd like to also say thank you to Cola and Brent, who are our producers.
Yes.
They're just an amazing team. And to all of you who've bothered to listen to us today, we praise you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah.
All right. See
Over
you
and out.
Good night.
We hope you've enjoyed this short chat, and stay tuned for more as we learn about the team and our projects helping communities to flourish. Thanks to our donors for making that happen. And if you would like to join our community, we'd love you to sign up to our newsletter on the site. If you wish, you can donate too. You'll find lots of good info on there at circuitinternational.org.